Commander Jake Morrison sat in his chair on the bridge of the horizon's edge. The ship was quiet except for the soft hum of the engines. They had been traveling through space for 3 weeks now, looking for new planets and life forms. Jake liked these peaceful missions. No fighting, no danger, just exploring the galaxy and making new friends. The communication officer, Lieutenant Amy Foster, suddenly turned around with wide eyes. "Commander, we're getting a strange signal. It's not like anything I've heard before." Jake walked over to her station. "What kind of signal?" "It sounds like music, sir, but it's also speaking words. The computer is trying to translate it now." The bridge crew gathered around as the speakers crackled to life. The sound was beautiful, like a choir singing in harmony. But underneath the music, words began to form in English. "Greetings, beings from the third planet of the Yellow Star. We are the Zephyrian Collective. We have heard whispers of your kind across the void. We need your help." Jake felt his heart skip a beat. First contact with a new alien species always made him nervous, but this was different. The voice in the message sounded sad and desperate. The musical voice continued. "We know you come from what others call a death world, a place so harsh that most beings cannot survive there. We did not believe such stories until now, but our situation is hopeless. We have nowhere else to turn." Dr. Ben Clark, the ship's science officer, was recording everything. He looked up at Jake with excitement. "Sir, this is incredible. They know about Earth somehow, and they're asking for help." The message went on. 3 of our 7 worlds have fallen to the Korthok Empire. They destroy everything in their path. Our people die, or become slaves in their minds. We are a peaceful people. We have never learned to fight. But you come from a world of warriors. Please, if you have any mercy in your hearts, meet with us. We offer you rare metals and our knowledge of peaceful technologies. All we ask is that you help us survive." The transmission ended with coordinates to a moon in a nearby star system. Jake stared at the screen for a long moment. His crew was waiting for orders. "Amy, send a message to Fleet Command. Tell them we've made contact with a new species that's asking for military help. Ben, start analyzing those coordinates. I want to know everything about that meeting place." "Sir," said Navigator Chris Martinez, "should we go? We're just an exploration ship. We don't have weapons or soldiers." Jake thought about this. The Horizon's Edge was designed for science missions, not combat. But these aliens sounded truly desperate. Set course for the coordinates. We'll at least talk to them. 3 days later, the Horizon's Edge arrived at the meeting place. It was a small moon orbiting a gas giant. The surface looked rocky and empty, perfect for a secret meeting. As they entered orbit, another ship appeared on their sensors. It was unlike anything they had ever seen. The hull seemed to be made of crystal that glowed with soft blue light. It was beautiful, but also strange. "There, sending another message," Amy reported. This time, a figure appeared on the main screen. Jake had to blink several times to make sure he was seen correctly. The being looked like it was made of living glass. Light moved through its body like water. It had no mouth, but somehow it spoke. "I am Ambassador Velter of the Zephyrian Collective. Thank you for coming, humans of Earth. Your willingness to travel so far gives us hope." Jake stepped forward. "I'm Commander Jake Morrison. We received your message, but I have to be honest with you. We're not soldiers. We're explorers." The crystal being seemed to shimmer with sadness. "We understand. But please, let us show you what we face. Perhaps your people will know what to do." The screen changed to show images of planets. The first. Few were beautiful worlds with crystal cities that sparkled like diamonds. Rivers of pure light flowed between buildings that looked like they were grown rather than built. It was paradise. Then the images changed. The same worlds were now broken and burning. Dark ships filled the sky like a plague of insects. Bodies lay scattered in the crystal streets. The beautiful cities were reduced to rubble and ash. The Korthok Empire, Veltar explained. They have conquered 67 worlds in the past century. They take our people as slaves to work in dangerous mines. Those who cannot work are killed. We have 4 worlds left. Soon, we will have none. Dr. Clark leaned forward. How many ships do they have? Over 400 warships. Each one is massive and heavily armed. Our vessels were designed for exploration and trade. We have no weapons. We do not even understand the concept of purposely harming another being. Jake felt a chill run down his spine. 400 warships against a peaceful species with no military. It was genocide. What about other species? Surely someone in the galaxy has tried to help you. Veltar's form dimmed. Most species in our part of the galaxy are like us, peaceful. Those with military strength are too far away or too afraid. The Korthoks have ruled through fear for so long that no one dares to challenge them. Except us, Jake said quietly. Except you, humans. The stories we heard said, your species comes from a world so violent that it created warriors without equal. We thought such tales were myths, but now, facing extinction, we pray they are true. Amy looked at Jake with worry in her eyes. The Horizon's Edge had 30 crew members and no weapons. What could they possibly do against an empire of 400 warships? But Jake was thinking about Earth, about the wars they had fought, about the strength that came from surviving on a planet that seemed determined to kill everything living on it. Maybe the aliens were right. Maybe humans were different. Ambassador Viltar. I need to contact my superiors. This decision is too big for me to make alone. But I promise you this, Earth will not abandon you to face this alone. The crystal being brightened with what Jake hoped was relief. That is all we can ask for, Commander Morrison. We will wait for your answer. As the communication ended, Jake turned to his crew. They all looked scared, but determined. They had come to space to explore and discover. Instead, they had found a war. Amy, send an emergency message to Admiral Sam Mitchell at Fleet Command. Tell him we need every ship we can get, and tell him to bring the Marines. Sir, do you really think we can help them? Chris asked. Jake looked out at the stars. Somewhere out there, an evil empire was destroying innocent worlds. On Earth, his people were living their lives in peace, unaware that they might be the galaxy's only hope. I don't know if we can win, Jake said, but I know we have to try. Earth didn't become humanity's home by giving up when things got tough. Maybe it's time to show the galaxy what Deathworlders can do. The Horizon's Edge turned toward home, carrying a message that would change everything. War was coming to the stars, and humanity was about to meet their destiny. Admiral Sam Mitchell stood in the war room on Earth, staring at the star map on the big screen. Red dots marked the fallen Zephyrian worlds. Blue dots showed the ones still free. The red dots were taking over. Show me the enemy fleet again, he said to his aide, Colonel Ryan Parker. The screen changed to show dark, ugly ships that looked like giant beetles, made of metal. Each one was twice the size of Earth's biggest warship. The Korthak ships had massive guns and thick armor. They were built for one thing, destroying everything in their path. 412 ships, Ryan reported. Intelligence says they're heading for the Zephyrian homeworld next. When they take that, the entire species will be extinct. Sam rubbed his tired eyes. 3 days ago, he had been planning training exercises. Now he was looking at the biggest military threat humanity had ever faced. What do we know about their tactics? Sam asked. Captain Lisa Hayes, head of military intelligence, stepped forward. They're bullies, sir, pure and simple. They attack peaceful worlds with overwhelming force, fast strikes, maximum destruction, no mercy. They've never fought anyone who could fight back. That's their weakness, added Major Tony Roberts. Earth's best military engineer. They don't know how to adapt. Every battle they've fought has been the same: show up with more ships than the enemy and blast everything to pieces. Sam nodded. What about our fleet? How many ships can we get ready? Ryan checked his tablet. 12 ships, sir. That's everything we can spare without leaving Earth defenseless. The flagship Terran Fury, 4 destroyers, 3 cruisers, 2 support ships, and 2 marine assault transports. 12 ships against 400. Any other admiral would have laughed or cried. Sam just smiled coldly. Dr. Kate Sullivan, Earth's expert on alien cultures, spoke up. Admiral, I've been studying the intercepted Korthok communications. There's something you need to know. What is it? They don't just conquer worlds. They use the people as slaves. The Korthoks make them work in mines that are so dangerous. Most slaves die within a year. And sir, ... they enjoy it. The pain and suffering. It's entertainment for them. The room went quiet. Sam felt anger rise in his chest. Earth had its problems, but humans had always tried to protect the innocent. The idea of an entire empire built on cruelty made his blood boil. How many people have they killed? Sam asked quietly. Kate checked her notes. Conservative estimate: 12 billion beings across 67 worlds. And that's just in the last century. More silence. Finally, Lieutenant Ben Clark, a young officer fresh from the academy, spoke up. Sir, with respect, this sounds like suicide. 12 ships against 400. We don't stand a chance. Sam looked at the young man. Son, let me tell you something about Earth. Our planet has tried to kill us every day for millions of years. Earthquakes, volcanoes, storms, ice ages, plagues, and disasters. We don't even have names for it. Any reasonable species would have given up and died out long ago. He walked over to another screen showing Earth from space. The blue and green planet looked peaceful from here, but Sam knew better. Instead, we got stronger. Every disaster taught us something new. Every enemy made us better fighters. Every challenge made us more creative. The Korthoks think they're predators. They've never met a species that evolved on a world where everything is a predator. Commander Nancy Davis from the Space Navy raised her hand. What's the plan, sir? Sam turned back to the star map. We're going to do what humans do best. We're going to adapt, improvise, and overcome. Ryan, I want you to pick our best Marines. Kate, study everything we can about Korthok psychology. Tony, figure out how to make our ships hit harder than theirs. Lisa, I need battle plans that use our speed and intelligence against their size and numbers. And if we lose, Ben asked, then we make sure they remember us, Sam said. But we're not going to lose. You know why? Because the Zephyrians were right. We are from a death world, and death worlds don't create victims. They create survivors. Over the next week, Earth's best military minds worked around the clock. They studied every piece of information about the Korthok Empire. They learned about their ships, their weapons, their tactics, and their weaknesses. Major Alex Thompson, Earth's top fighter pilot, came back from a scouting mission with important news. I got close to one of their patrol ships, he reported. Their sensors are powerful, but narrow. They scan in straight lines, like searchlights, leave big blind spots. Their shields are strong in front, but weaker on the sides, added Engineer Chief Greg Walker. If we can hit them from the flanks, our weapons might punch through. Kate made another disturbing discovery. I've been listening to their communications. They're not just conquering the Zephyrians for resources. It's a test. If they succeed, they plan to expand toward our part of the galaxy. Earth would be next on their list. This changed everything. It wasn't just about helping the Zephyrians anymore. It was about protecting Earth and every other peaceful world in their path. Sam called a final meeting with his senior staff. People, I won't lie to you. This is the most dangerous mission humanity has ever attempted, We're outnumbered 33-1. The enemy has bigger ships, more firepower, and centuries of experience conquering worlds. He paused and looked around the room. But they've made one critical mistake. They've never fought humans before. Communications specialist Rachel Green spoke up. Sir, I've been monitoring Zephyrian transmissions. They're scared but hopeful. They really believe we can save them. Then we won't let them down, Sam said. Final preparations start now. I want every ship loaded with our best weapons and our best people. We leave for Zephyrian space in 48 hours. As the meeting broke up, young Lieutenant Clark approached the Admiral. Sir, I'm sorry I questioned the mission earlier. I understand now. What do you understand, son? That sometimes the right thing to do is also the hardest thing to do. And that's when you find out what you're really made of. Sam smiled and put a hand on the young officer's shoulder. Now you're thinking like a human. 2 days later, the small human fleet gathered in Earth orbit. 12 ships against an empire. On paper, it looked hopeless. But as Sam looked at his captains on the communication screen, he saw something the Korthoks had never faced. He saw determination. He saw courage. He saw the products of a death world that had forged them into something special. All ships, this is Admiral Mitchell, he broadcast. Today we go to war, not for conquest or glory, but to protect those who cannot protect themselves. The enemy thinks they know what they're facing. They're wrong. They asked for peace, but they chose war. Now they're about to learn what happens when you threaten a human's friends. The fleet turned toward the stars. Somewhere ahead waited the Korthok Empire and 400 warships. They were confident in their power and certain of victory. They had no idea that death was coming for them, wearing the face of humanity. The human fleet dropped out of faster-than-light travel at the edge of Zephyrian space. Admiral Sam Mitchell stood on the bridge of the Terran Fury, watching the tactical display. 12 human ships looked very small compared to the massive Korth fleet shown in red. Status report, Sam ordered. 412 enemy ships detected, reported Tactical Officer Nancy Davis. They're spread across 3 systems, moving toward the Zephyrian homeworld and our allies. 47 Zephyrian ships remaining, sir. They're beautiful, but Nancy paused, checking her scans. Admiral, they have no weapons. None at all. Their ships are designed only for exploration and trade. Sam shook his head. A species so peaceful, they couldn't even imagine building weapons. No wonder the Korthoks had conquered them so easily. Incoming transmission from the Zephyrian flagship, announced Communications Officer Rachel Green. The main screen showed Ambassador Veltar, the crystal being they had met before. Behind him, other Zephyrians moved with nervous energy. Their normally bright glow was dim with fear. Admiral Mitchell, thank you for coming, but I fear you do not understand the size of the threat. The Korthok fleet is massive. Perhaps you should take your ships and flee while you can. Ambassador, humans don't abandon friends, Sam replied. We're here to help, no matter the odds. But we need to understand our enemy better. Can you show us recordings of previous battles? The screen changed to show horrifying scenes. Korthok ships appearing like a dark cloud over peaceful worlds. Cities burning, people running in terror. The Korthok ships fired their weapons with no warning, no mercy, no hesitation. Captain Lisa Hayes, watching from her position, felt sick. They don't even try to communicate first. They just attack. It's worse than that, said Dr. Kate Sullivan, studying the recordings. Look at their formation. They attack in straight lines. No complex tactics. They rely purely on having more guns than their enemies. Major Tony Roberts was analyzing the enemy ships themselves. Admiral, their designs are all about brute force. Heavy armor, big guns, but they're slow and clumsy. Our ships are much faster. What about their technology? Sam asked. Advanced but predictable, Tony continued. They use the same weapons, the same shields, the same tactics on every world. They've never needed to adapt because no one has ever fought back effectively. Intelligence Officer Ben Clark raised his hand. Sir, I've been studying their conquest patterns. They always follow the same plan. Destroy military targets first, then government centers, then major cities. Always in that order. Sam smiled grimly. Predictable enemies are the easiest to defeat. What else do we know? Navigator Chris Martinez pulled up star charts. The Korthak fleet is divided into 3 groups. The main force of 300 ships is heading for the Zephyrian home world. 2 smaller fleets of 50 ships each are attacking the remaining outer colonies. They're trying to finish the job quickly, Sam realized. They want to wipe out the entire species before anyone can help them. Admiral Veltar said from the screen, "We have tried to evacuate as many people as possible, but there are still millions on each world who cannot escape. If the Korthoks reach them, they won't," Sam said firmly. "We're going to stop them, but how? Your fleet is brave but small. Even if each of your ships destroyed 10 of theirs, you would still be outnumbered." Sam turned to his tactical team. "What's our biggest advantage?" "Speed and maneuverability," Nancy answered immediately. "Our ships can run circles around theirs." "Intelligence," added Kate. "We know their patterns. They don't know ours." "Unpredictability," said Ben. "They've never fought humans before. They don't know how we think." "And motivation," added Lisa. "They're fighting for conquest. We're fighting for survival and to protect innocence." Sam nodded. "Then here's what we're going to do. We're going to split their fleet and defeat them, piece by piece." "Tony, can our ships handle fighting in that asteroid field near the second planet?" Tony checked his instruments. "Yes, sir. Our ships are designed for complex navigation. The Korthok ships are too big and clumsy for that kind of space." "Perfect. We're going to use their size against them." Sam turned to the communication screen. "Ambassador Veltar, I need your ships to do something very dangerous. We will do whatever is needed. I need you to act as bait. Draw the main Korthok fleet into that asteroid field. Make them think you're trying to escape through it." The crystal being flickered with worry. "Our ships are not fast enough to outrun them. They don't need to be. You just need to get them into the field, and then get out of the way." "Can you do that?" "Yes, but what about your ships? 12 against 300 is still impossible." Sam smiled. "Ambassador, you're about to see why the galaxy calls Earth a death world." The plan was simple, but dangerous. The Zephyrian ships would lure the main Korthok fleet into the asteroid field. The human ships would be waiting, hidden among the rocks. When the enemy fleet entered the field, the humans would attack from all sides, using hit-and-run tactics. "Remember," Sam told his captains, over the communication network, "we're not trying to fight them ship to ship. We're going to be like wolves, hunting a herd of buffalo. Strike fast, disappear, strike again from a different angle." Captain Greg, Walker of the destroyer Earth's Hammer, spoke up. "What if they don't follow the Zephyrians into the field?" "Then we'll make them," Sam replied. "Alex, take your fighter squadron and harass their flanks. Make them angry. Angry enemies make mistakes. Major." Alex Thompson grinned from his fighter cockpit. "Yes, sir. Nothing makes a bully madder than someone who fights back." The trap was set. The Zephyrian ships moved toward the asteroid field, broadcasting distress signals. Behind them, the massive Korthok fleet followed like hungry sharks, smelling blood. Sam watched the tactical display as the enemy ships entered the field. They moved in their usual formation, straight lines, no imagination, pure brute force. "All ships, this is the Admiral," Sam broadcast. "They're in the trap. Remember, hit them, hard and fast, then disappear before they can respond. Show them what humans learned, surviving on Earth." The battle began with a flash of light as the human ships opened fire from hidden positions among the asteroids. The first wave of attacks destroyed 6 Korthok ships before they even knew they were under attack. Enemy fleet is confused, reported Nancy. They're trying to form a defensive formation, but the asteroids are blocking them. Keep hitting them, Sam ordered. Don't give them time to think. The human ships moved like ghosts through the asteroid field. They would appear, fire their weapons, then vanish behind the rocks before the slow Korthok ships could turn their guns around. For the first time in centuries, the Korthok fleet was taking serious losses. Their communications filled with panic and confusion. This is impossible. One Korthok captain screamed over the radio. How can 12 ships fight 300? Rachel intercepted the message and translated it for Sam. They're calling for reinforcements from the other fleets. Good, Sam said. That means we're winning. The more ships they send here, the fewer. They have to attack the Zephyrian colonies. But Sam knew they couldn't keep this up forever. Eventually, the Korthoks would adapt or escape the field. They needed to do more damage while they had the chance. All ships, prepare for the final phase, Sam ordered. We're going to show these bullies what happens when they pick on our friends. The battle was just beginning, and already the galaxy was changing. The Korthok Empire, masters of easy conquest, were learning that some prey could bite back, and humanity was about to teach them the hardest lesson of all. The asteroid field became a graveyard of Korthok ships. Admiral Sam Mitchell watched the tactical display as another enemy vessel exploded in a ball of fire. 23 Korthok ships destroyed, and the human fleet hadn't lost a single ship. They're trying to retreat from the field, reported Tactical Officer Nancy Davis. But our hit-and-run attacks are keeping them confused. Sam nodded. The plan was working perfectly. The Korthaks had expected easy prey, but instead they found themselves trapped in a maze of rocks with human ships striking like lightning from every direction. Admiral, called Communications Officer Rachel Green. I'm getting angry transmissions from the Korthok fleet commander. He's demanding to know who we are and why we're interfering. Put him on screen, Sam ordered. The main display showed a massive alien with thick gray skin, red eyes, and tusks, like a wild boar. His armor was covered with the skulls of different species. This was Warlord Thakmer, commander of the Korthok Empire's main fleet. You dare attack the mighty Korthok Empire? Thakmer roared. What species are you? Which world do you come from? We will hunt you down and make you suffer for this insult. Sam stepped forward calmly. I'm Admiral Sam Mitchell of Earth. We're here because you're attacking our friends. Thakmer laughed, a sound like grinding metal. Earth. Never heard of it. It must be some weak little world producing weak little beings. When I finish with these crystal cowards, I'll find your pathetic planet and add it to my collection. You're welcome to try, Sam said with a cold smile. But first you'll have to get out of this asteroid field alive. The alien's face twisted with rage. You think you can defeat the Korthok Empire with 12 tiny ships? One have 300 vessels. I will crush you like insects. 35, Sam corrected. What? You have 277 ships left. We've destroyed 35 in the last hour. For the first time, uncertainty flickered in Thakmer's red eyes. No enemy had ever destroyed so many ships in one battle. No enemy had ever dared to mock him. Impossible. Your ships are too small to have such powerful weapons. Size isn't everything, Sam replied. On Earth, we have a saying. It's not the size of the dog in the fight. It's the size of the fight in the dog. Sam cut the transmission and turned to his crew. They're getting desperate. That makes them dangerous but also careless. Time for Phase 2, sir, asked Captain Lisa Hayes. We're going to board their flagship and capture their leader. The bridge went quiet. Boarding an enemy ship during battle was one of the most dangerous military operations possible. Doing it against a ship 10 times their size seemed like suicide. Major Tony Roberts was the first to speak. Admiral, the Korthok flagship is massive. It has thousands of crew members. How can we possibly take it with our Marines? Because they've never fought Marines before, Sam answered. Kate, what do we know about Korthok psychology? Dr. Kate Sullivan checked her notes. They're bullies, sir. They're used to their enemies running away or surrendering immediately. When someone fights back effectively, they panic. They've built their entire military doctrine around overwhelming force against weak opponents. Perfect. Greg, prepare your Marine assault team. We're going to show them what humans are really capable of. Captain Greg Walker of the Marine Assault Transport grinned. How many Marines, sir? 50? That should be enough. 50 Marines against thousands of Korthaks. Lieutenant Ben Clark asked in shock. Sam looked at the young officer. Son, these Marines are from Earth. They've trained in deserts, jungles, mountains, and ice fields. They've practiced fighting in every environment our death world could throw at them. The Korthoks train by beating up peaceful species who don't fight back. Who do you think is really prepared for this? The assault began with the Terran Fury moving close to the Korthok flagship. The enemy ship was enormous, like a metal mountain, floating in space. Its hull was covered with weapons and armor plating. Their shields are focused on our ships, reported Nancy. They're not expecting a boarding party. Marine Captain Greg Walker led his team through the docking tubes. The Marines wore powered armor and carried weapons designed for close combat. They had trained for this moment their entire careers. The first Korthok defenders they met were huge, almost twice the size of humans. But size meant nothing when the enemy was slow and clumsy. The Marines moved like dancers, their training on Earth's harsh gravity making them faster and stronger than they looked. Deck 1 secured, Greg reported, over the radio. Moving toward the bridge. Inside the flagship, alarms blared as the Korthoks realized they were being invaded. Hundreds of warriors rushed to stop the intruders, but they had never fought humans before. The Marines used tactics the Korthaks couldn't understand. They worked in small teams, supporting each other. They used the ship's own layout against the defenders, turning corridors into kill zones, and using the Korthok's size against them in narrow passages. These humans are like demons. One Korthok warrior screamed over the radio. They fight like beasts. How can such small creatures be so vicious? Meanwhile, outside the ship, the space battle continued. The human fleet kept hitting the Korthok ships from hidden positions among the asteroids. Every few minutes, another enemy vessel exploded or lost power. Admiral, Rachel reported, the other Korthok fleets are moving toward our position. They're abandoning their attacks on the Zephyrian colonies to help the main fleet. Excellent, Sam said. That means the colonies are safe. How long until they arrive? 2 hours, sir. More than enough time. Greg, what's your status? Halfway to the bridge. Admiral, Greg's voice crackled over the radio. These Korthoks are big and strong, but they fight like amateurs. They just charge straight at us, with no strategy. Keep pushing. We need their commander alive. The Marines fought their way through the massive ship level by level. The Korthaks had never faced enemies who could think and adapt during battle. Every time they set up a defense, the humans found a way around it. Finally, Greg's team reached the bridge. The doors were massive and heavily armored, but Marine explosives expert Sergeant Mike Davis had brought the right tools for the job. Breaching. Charge ready, Mike reported. Do it, Greg ordered. The doors exploded inward, and the Marines rushed through the smoke. On the other side, Warlord Thakmer waited with his personal guard. The alien commander held a massive weapon that could have cut a human in half, but he never got the chance to use it. The Marines moved like a pack of wolves. They surrounded the Korthoks, using speed and teamwork to overcome size and strength. Within minutes, the bridge was secured and Thakmer was on his knees with human weapons pointed at his head. Bridge secured, Greg reported. Package captured. Sam smiled on the Terran Fury's bridge. "Excellent work, Marines. Now comes the fun part." He opened a communication channel to the entire Korthok fleet. "Attention Korthok forces, your commander is our prisoner. Your flagship is under our control. You have exactly 10 minutes to surrender, or we will destroy every ship in your fleet." The response was immediate chaos. Some Korthok ships tried to flee. Others turned their weapons toward the flagship, willing to kill their own commander rather than surrender. A few wise captains powered down their weapons and waited. "They don't know what to do," Nancy observed. "They've never been in this situation before." "That's because they've never fought humans before," Sam replied. "Rachel, broadcast this message on all frequencies." Sam's voice rang out across the star system. "This is Admiral Mitchell of Earth. For centuries, the Korthok Empire has terrorized peaceful worlds. You've killed billions of innocent beings. You've enslaved entire species. You thought you were strong because you only fought those who couldn't fight back." He paused, letting his words sink in. "But now you face humanity. We come from a world that tried to kill us every day for millions of years. We learned to fight because we had to. We learned to protect each other because survival depended on it. And we learned that sometimes the only way to stop a bully is to hit back harder than they hit you." The Korthok fleet was in complete disorder. Some ships were fleeing, some were fighting each other, and some were just floating in space as their crews tried to figure out what to do. "You have a choice," Sam continued. "Surrender now and return to your home worlds. Leave the peaceful species alone, or continue fighting and learn why the galaxy calls Earth a death world." One by one, Korthok ships began powering down their weapons. The empire that had seemed invincible for centuries was surrendering to 12 human ships and 50 Marines. War was ending, but peace would come at a price the galaxy was only beginning to understand. The Korthok Empire's surrender sent shockwaves across the galaxy. Admiral Sam Mitchell stood on the bridge of the Terran Fury, watching as the last enemy ships powered down their weapons and prepared to return home. "Final count," Admiral reported. Tactical Officer Nancy Davis. 67 Korthok ships destroyed, 345 surrendered. 0 human casualties. Sam nodded, but he felt no joy in the victory. War was never something to celebrate, even when it was necessary. "What about the Zep? All their remaining worlds are secure," Communications Officer Rachel Green announced. "The Korthok fleets that were attacking the colonies have retreated. Ambassador Veltar is requesting permission to come aboard. Send him over." 20 minutes later, the crystal being materialized on the human ship. Veltar's body glowed brighter than Sam had ever seen, pulsing with colors that seemed to express emotions humans couldn't fully understand. "Admiral Mitchell," Veltar said, his musical voice filled with wonder, "what you have done is impossible. In all the stories of our people, in all the history of the galaxy, nothing like this has ever happened." "What do you mean?" Sam asked. "The Korthok Empire has conquered 67 worlds. They have enslaved or killed billions of beings. They seemed unstoppable. Yet 12 human ships defeated them in a single battle. How is this possible?" Sam looked out at the stars through the bridge window. "Because we're different, Ambassador. Most species in the galaxy evolved on peaceful worlds. They never had to learn to fight for survival every day. But you did. Earth tried to kill us with earthquakes, volcanoes, ice ages, plagues, and predators. Every generation had to be stronger and smarter than the last, just to survive. It made us hard, maybe too hard." Veltar's form shimmered with curiosity. "Yet you came to help us. If you are as violent as you claim, why do you protect the innocent?" Sam smiled sadly. "That's the paradox of humanity, Ambassador. The same world that made us warriors also taught us to value peace. We know how terrible war is because we've lived it. We know how precious life is because we've almost lost it so many times. Captain Lisa Hayes approached with a report. Admiral, we're receiving communications from across the galaxy. News of our victory is spreading fast. 17 different species are requesting help with various threats. And that's the problem, Sam said quietly. We came here to help friends. Now the galaxy sees us as some kind of universal protectors. Dr. Kate Sullivan looked up from her station. Sir, I'm monitoring broadcasts from the galactic news networks. They're calling humans the guardian species and warriors of justice. Some are calling Earth the sword of the peaceful. Sam rubbed his tired eyes. That's exactly what I was afraid of. Veltar moved closer, his crystal body ringing like distant bells. You are not pleased with your victory. Victory in war always comes with a price, Ambassador. Today we saved your people, and I'm proud of that. But we also announced to the galaxy that humans are a species to be feared, that will bring consequences. As if to prove his point, Lieutenant Ben Clark received an urgent transmission. Admiral long-range sensors are detecting fleet movements in several systems. It looks like other aggressive species are mobilizing. They seem to be pesting our response. They want to see if we're really as dangerous as the stories say, Sam realized. Some will try to ally with us. Others will see us as a threat to be eliminated before we get stronger. Marine Captain Greg Walker, fresh from his successful boarding mission, joined the conversation. Sir, maybe that's not a bad thing. If aggressive species are afraid of us, they might leave peaceful worlds alone, or they might unite against us, Sam replied. Fear can create alliances as easily as it prevents wars. Rachel received another message. Admiral, Earth Command is sending additional fleets to this sector. They want to establish a permanent base here to protect the zone. And so it begins, Sam said. We came as explorers and scientists. We're becoming an empire whether we want to or not. Veltar's glow dimmed with concern. Is that bad? It depends on what kind of empire we become, Sam answered. The Korthoks built their empire on conquest and fear. Will humans do better? I hope so. But power has a way of changing people. Navigator Chris Martinez looked up from his instruments. Admiral, I'm receiving a priority message from Earth. The President wants to speak with you immediately. The main screen flickered to life, showing President Sarah Johnson in the Oval Office. Behind her, Sam could see military advisors and government officials. Admiral Mitchell, congratulations on your victory. The entire world is proud of what you've accomplished. Thank you, Madam President. However, we need to discuss the situation. In the past 6 hours, we've received formal contact requests from 43 different alien species. Some want protection, some want trade agreements, and some want military alliances. Earth is no longer just another world in the galaxy. Sam had expected this. What are your orders, Madame President? We're forming the Terran Defense Force. You'll be its first commander. Your mission is to protect peaceful species and maintain stability in this sector of the galaxy, and if aggressive species threaten us or our allies. The President's expression grew hard. Then you remind them why Earth is called a death world. The transmission ended, and Sam turned back to Veltar. Well, Ambassador, it looks like humans are here to stay. This frightens you, Veltar observed. Yes, it does. We've just become the galaxy's policemen. That's a responsibility I'm not sure we're ready for. Tony Roberts, the chief engineer, spoke up. Admiral, maybe that's exactly why we're the right species for the job. We're afraid of the power we have. The Korthoks weren't. What do you mean? They enjoyed conquering weaker species. They thought it was their right, but we came here reluctantly. We fought only because we had to. And now that we've won, we're worried about what comes next. That's the difference between a protector and a conqueror. Sam thought about this. Around him, his crew was already preparing for the long journey ahead. They would build bases, train local defense forces, and stand guard against threats from the darkness between stars. Admiral Veltar said softly, "My people have a saying. The strongest trees grow in the harshest soil. Perhaps your death world created exactly what the galaxy needed." "What's that?" "Guardians who understand the value of peace because they know the cost of war." Sam looked around at his crew one more time. They were tired, far from home, and facing an uncertain future. But they were ready. Earth had made them ready. "All ships, this is Admiral Mitchell." He broadcast to the fleet. "Set course for the Zephyrian home world. We have a lot of work to do." As the human fleet moved through space, Sam reflected on how much had changed. They had come seeking peace and ended up bringing war. But maybe that was what peace really meant, being strong enough to protect those who couldn't protect themselves. Behind them, the Korthok ships limped home, carrying news that would spread across the galaxy. A new power had risen among the stars. A species from a death world that fought like demons, but protected like angels. The galaxy would never be the same. In systems across the void, peaceful species looked to the stars with new hope. Aggressive empires calculated the cost of expansion against the threat of human intervention. And on a small blue world called Earth, humanity prepared for its greatest challenge yet. They had asked for peace. When peace was threatened, Deathworlders brought war. Now they would have to learn the hardest lesson of all, how to build a lasting peace in a galaxy that had never known one. The age of human guardianship had begun,